It's somewhere between 2026 and 2030 is where we think that $1 million from $40,000. I don't think people believed me when I said it on stage last week at Bitcoin 2022, but I meant it, and many people think, okay, so you're assuming that institutional investors become huge holders of Bitcoin. No, we're not. We're assuming, though, that they will move in gradually, and by the time we hit $1 million plus, they will have a 2.5% exposure to Bitcoin.
CEO Cathie Wood just revealed this surprising Bitcoin price prediction. Cathie Wood, who became a household name for a correct prediction on Tesla stocks, has made a wild prediction on Bitcoin. Welcome to Bitcoin Breaking News. Wood has never shied away from bold predictions. The immensely wealthy money manager expressed her support for Bitcoin. In 2018, she set a price target for Tesla of $672 billion, implying a market valuation of $672 billion. Tesla has now surpassed that valuation by leaps and bounds, but the firm was only worth $56 billion at the time.
We pay a lot of attention to its barriers to entry, and as long as we see those moving up, and they are moving up, whether you're talking about battery technology, it's going to take a long time to catch Tesla.
According to ARK Investment Management, Bitcoin's price could top $1 million by 2030. A business founded by renowned fund manager Cathie Wood, because the cryptocurrency's global adoption is still in its early stages. In an interview with Yahoo Finance, she said,
it's somewhere between 2026 and 2030 is where we think that $1 million from $40,000. I don't think people believed me when I said it on stage last week at Bitcoin 2022, but I meant it, and many people think, okay, so you're assuming that institutional investors become huge holders of Bitcoin. No, we're not. We're assuming, though, that they will move in gradually, and by the time we hit $1 million plus, they will have a 2.5% exposure to Bitcoin.
Bitcoin's market capitalization still represents a fraction of global assets and is likely to scale as nation-states adopt it as legal tender. ARK analyst Yassine El-Manjira wrote in the Big Ideas 2022 Outlook report. Cryptocurrencies have rapidly garnered mainstream attention in the last 2 years, with the total market cap hitting $2 trillion in August 2021. Bitcoin's wide appeal cannot be understated. There have been significant institutional investments in recent years. This isn't the first time Cathie Wood has predicted a rise in Bitcoin's market capitalization. According to ARK's Big Ideas for 2021, if every S&P 500 company puts 1% of their cash into Bitcoin, the price would rise by about $40,000. ARK estimates that if those corporations moved 10% of their cash to Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency would rise by $400,000.
We have been expecting institutions to start moving into Bitcoin and other crypto assets, but primarily Bitcoin, the most secure of the blockchains.
Wood told Yahoo Finance in 2021. Speaking to Yahoo Finance Presents, Wood called Square, SQ, and MicroStrategy's MSTR earlier Bitcoin moves bullish for crypto and a roadmap for public companies to deploy Bitcoin as a legitimate alternative to cash. Wood's call for Bitcoin to go higher in 2021 was proven right. BTC hit an all-time high of nearly $48,000. Her price prediction depends on whether companies continue to diversify their balance sheets into Bitcoin, the biggest cryptocurrency by market value, and whether institutional investors begin to allocate 5% of their funds to it. The year is 2022, and Cathie Wood has upped the number in her prediction. Wood is sticking to a long-term bullish call at a volatile time for Bitcoin and a flagship exchange-traded fund. While Bitcoin price predictions range from hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions within a few or many years, Wood's forecast is firmly on the higher end. According to ARK's report, Bitcoin's market valuation will reach $28.5 trillion by 2030 as usage rises, bringing it closer to $1 million Bitcoin. The report then divides the predicted market size by Bitcoin's limited quantity of 21 million to arrive at $1.36 million per Bitcoin. According to Wood, the regulatory climate will play a role in Bitcoin achieving its all-time high. It identifies 8 primary use cases that'll fuel growth: seizure-resistant assets, remittances, digital gold, corporate and nation-state treasuries, institutional investments, part of an economic settlement network, and emerging market currencies. The politics surrounding Bitcoin are also altering dramatically. Even where we've moved in St. Pete, because people know that I'm very Bitcoin focused, the politicians have come to me and said, I want to pull together a room of Bitcoin enthusiasts and I really want to learn from them what they want from us, Wood said.
When Janet Yellen, it was roughly a year ago, Janet Yellen said, Bitcoin, environmental problems, illicit activity, money laundering, gambling, all of that. And she just, door shut.
On Yellen's former position on Bitcoin, she said,
and I remember I was asked at the time, and I basically said, she hasn't studied it. She hasn't studied the technology, and she hasn't studied the instrument, the new asset class. Well, it seems like she's been boning up because, again, just the other day, she focused on Bitcoin and crypto generally as, we need to make sure and encourage financial innovation. The U.S. wants to lead.
Wood's prediction all points towards remittance network, emerging market currency, economic settlement network, nation-state and corporate treasury, seizure-resistant asset, institutional investment. According to her, Bitcoin will be sailing to $1 million by 2030 for all kinds of reasons.
Is a 2030...
Like the other calls that you talked about. Mm-hmm.
Right. It's somewhere between 2026 and 2030 is where we think that $1 million from $40,000. I don't think people believed me when I said it on stage last week at Bitcoin 2022, but I meant it, and many people think, okay, so you're assuming that institutional investors become huge holders of Bitcoin.
We see an incredible number of use cases, and we think Bitcoin will be leading the charge, she added. Wood is confident in her predictions and emphasizes them frequently. Some insiders, though, are skeptical of her projections.
Now, this is such a big idea, and that is such a small allocation.
Yeah.
I think they will regret not having more because, as I mentioned, this is the first, each word I'm about to say is really important. The first global, big idea, private, meaning not overseen by any government, digital, rules-based monetary system.
If that happens, we believe that the price will be tenfold of where it is today, she said. So instead of $45,000, over $500,000.
In 2015, on Bitcoin, he said, this is what I've been looking for, a rules-based monetary policy. It might not be the right rule, but it's a step in the right direction. And of course, he means by that it's a great store of value because it's mathematically metered to stop at 21 million units, so that's a quantity rule. So great store of value, scarcity meaning. So, it's a very big idea.
This brings us to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click on the bell icon for notifications.